At the dawn of the 20th century, Russia was a land of stark contrasts, a nation where the old world met the new in a dramatic clash. Ruled by the Romanov dynasty for over 3 centuries, it boasted a vast empire, stretching from the Baltic Sea to the Pacific Ocean, encompassing a multitude of cultures and peoples. Yet, beneath this veneer of grandeur, lay a society riddled with deep-seated problems, a nation teetering on the brink of monumental change. The majority of Russians toiled in poverty as peasants, bound to the land and subject to the whims of a landed aristocracy, their lives marked by hardship and struggle. The Tsar, Nicholas II, believed in the autocratic rule, convinced of his divine right to govern, and saw himself as the father of his people. He remained largely oblivious to the plight of his people and resistant to the winds of change sweeping across Europe, clinging to outdated traditions. His government, inefficient and corrupt, struggled to address the growing unrest among its citizens, failing to implement necessary reforms. Within this volatile mix, the seeds of revolution were being sown, setting the stage for a dramatic upheaval that would change the course of history. Economic hardship was a constant companion for the vast majority of Russians. Industrialization, while slowly taking hold, lagged behind other European powers. This resulted in poor working conditions, low wages, and frequent unemployment, particularly in burgeoning urban centers. Rural peasants, the backbone of Russia's economy, fared little better. The demand for land reform, a cry echoing through the countryside for generations, went unheeded. Resentment towards the wealthy landowners, who lived in luxury while the peasantry struggled to survive, continued to fester. The stage was set for a dramatic upheaval, and the people yearned for change, chanting the rallying cry that would soon reverberate throughout Russia: peace, land, and bread, and. In 1914, the outbreak of World War I proved to be a catastrophic turning point for many nations, including Russia. Initially, the war stirred a wave of patriotism, uniting Russians under the banner of Tsar and country. The streets were filled with enthusiastic crowds, hopeful for a swift victory. However, this initial fervor was short-lived as the harsh realities of war set in. The Russian army, ill-equipped and poorly led, suffered devastating losses against the German war machine. The morale of the troops plummeted as they faced insurmountable odds. As casualties mounted and defeats piled up, so did the discontent on the home front. The initial unity began to fracture. The war crippled the already fragile economy, leading to widespread hardship. Food shortages became rampant and inflation skyrocketed, pushing the already struggling populace to the brink of desperation. The Tsar's decision to personally take command of the army in 1915 proved disastrous, leaving the Tsarina, Alexandra, and her controversial advisor, Grigory Rasputin, in control of the government. This move further eroded public trust in the monarchy, setting the stage for the revolutionary fervor that would soon engulf the nation. Section 4. Enter the Bolsheviks. Lenin and Trotsky take the stage. Amidst the chaos and despair, a revolutionary party, the Bolsheviks, led by the charismatic Vladimir Lenin, saw their opportunity. Exiled for his radical views, Lenin, along with his brilliant strategist Leon Trotsky, recognized the potential for revolution. Lenin, a gifted orator and ruthless tactician, returned to Russia in April 1917. His arrival facilitated by Germany, who hoped to further destabilize their enemy. He immediately rallied the discontented masses, promising an end to the war, land redistribution, and worker control of factories. Section 5. The October Revolution. Russia transformed. By the autumn of 1917, Russia teetered on the edge of collapse. The country was exhausted by years of war, economic hardship, and social unrest. The people were desperate for change, and the old order seemed incapable of providing solutions. The February Revolution had swept away the Tsar and installed a provisional government, yet it failed to address the fundamental issues plaguing the nation. The new government struggled with internal divisions and lacked the authority to implement meaningful reforms. The Bolsheviks, capitalizing on the widespread disillusionment, seized their chance. Led by Lenin, they promised peace, land, and bread, appealing directly to the war-weary soldiers, the land-hungry peasants, and the discontented workers. In a swift and decisive move, they overthrew the provisional government in October 1917, November according to the Gregorian calendar, which Russia adopted later. This marked the beginning of a new chapter in Russian history. The Bolsheviks, promising a radical transformation of society, had ushered in a new era for Russia, one that would have a profound impact on the course of the 20th century. Their vision of a socialist state would shape not only Russia, but also the world for decades to come.